Citizens United asked whether the government could regulate a corporation's right to spend money in elections. The court said no, it could not. But the Supreme Court was never asked, nor did it ask, a different, more fundamental question. Does a corporation have the power, not the right, the power to spend money on elections in the first place? And that question, it turns out, belongs entirely to the states. Here's the key to understanding this. Corporations are not born. They are, in fact, created by state law. Unlike humans who are actually born, corporations are created by state law. They are given their powers by state law. They are dependent on state law for their very existence, which is why people choose to incorporate in various different states based on the rights that that state offers. Anyone who even has a small company knows that a corporation in America is a state entity. Chief Justice John Marshall established this principle in 1819, writing that, quote, a corporation is an artificial being, invisible, intangible, and existing only in contemplation of law. Being the mere creature of law, it possesses only those properties which the charter of its creation confers upon it, end quote. Pretty simple writing. In other words, corporations only exist because states created them and gave them their powers, things like the right to own property, to sign contracts, to sue, and to be sued. That 200-year-old Supreme Court decision has never been superseded. So Tom Moore's strategy, he calls it the corporate power reset, builds directly on this concept. States create corporations. States grant corporations their power. States have always retained the authority to rewrite that list. And what the state grants, the state can take back. So instead of trying to restrict corporate speech, which is where Citizens United dwells and where states have lost repeatedly in federal court, Hawaii simply decided that it will decline to grant corporations that power in the first place. It is a subtle distinction, but it may be a legally and politically consequential one. It makes Citizens United irrelevant, at least within the borders of states that adopt this new way of thinking about it. Hawaii's new law, which takes effect on July 1st of next year, redefines corporations doing business in the state as entities that do not possess the power to spend money on elections or ballot measures. It does not eliminate super PACs, but it cuts off their most corrosive fuel source, anonymous corporate money. Super PACs can still operate, but only on money raised from human beings, whose names must be disclosed. State Senator Rhodes noted that anonymity isn't just a transparency problem, it's actually a national security problem. Quote, it's very difficult to know whether Russia or Iran or China are funneling money into American elections, end quote.